why is it that watercolor roses are so addictive? It seems to be the bane of our existence sometimes. Like, they can be really frustrating because how do you get those C-curve shapes and how do you space them right so they look good? So today I thought I would share another video on 3 game-changing methods for roses, and I want it to be relaxing. I want it to be varied so you can use different brushes, different techniques, and just have a lot of fun with it. While you're doing it, take a deep breath, remind yourself it's just roses, it's just paper. Throw it away if it doesn't turn out well. But the biggest point is that we're trying to have fun and we're trying something new. So let's get to painting. All right, spraying down the palette. It's still a little wet because I did just film another video. Put the cap on this pen. So I've got my sketchbook here. For those interested, it is called the Handbook Journal Company sketchbook. And it's just a cheap pulp paper. I've got my Winsor Newton paints and my brush collection right here. So if we're gonna paint different types of roses, we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. And I wanna start with a very dark middle. So I'm going to use my number 6 round. And I do believe that using different brushes will get you different effects too. But we're gonna start with a very dark center that we can always darken up more later if we don't like the result. So grabbing a bit of this really dark pink, because I want it to not be gloopy, but just nice and have water control, I'm gonna dab my brush on that paper towel. And then we're just simply going to add in just some little marks, quick flick marks. You're not trying to copy me, just get some little marks. I'm always saying, I'm gonna paint fast, slow down the video if it's too fast for you. Whatever needs to happen to help you feel more comfortable. But I'm trying to teach you to paint intuitively, to kind of go with your gut, which can be difficult, especially when you're learning. But it's a great skill to build confidence. So here's a dark brown, dabbing that brush. I used a nice pink. Obviously I didn't say it, but yes, that's what I've got. And I'm just gonna start like preemptively putting these middles. So roses always have a middle. We don't often paint the middle. So I'm just gonna going around in a circular shape, just adding some bold movement. Those look like tiny mini roses already. So yes, one of those ways that I paint roses, one of these methods is to add in that dark center that is going to be visible. That is, because when we open up a rose, it's got that center part, but when we're painting these C-curve shaped roses, we don't always really accentuate that. I'm gonna go with an orange center here. Dab. And then I'm gonna put one over here, same thing. These are kind of little C-curve shapes, right? But they can be dots, dashes, lines, whatever you wanna do. Fluffy centers. So cleaning my brush, now I'm gonna start with my number 1 quill. And it's like a 10 round. So if you have a 10 round or something, or a 12 or an 8, use it. Whatever you want to use. So we've got that dark center, and then we want to really kind of lighten up what else we're putting in there. So this is a very nice light puddle of pigment. And I'm just going to start adding in some fluffy petals. So little curved shape there, right? And then I'm going to go around and do same thing over here. You want to make sure that they're connecting with each other, but still leaving some white space. And it's very light, very, very light. Now I'm going to start pressing out a little bit more so I can get a thicker petal. And then over here too, pressing. Don't try to get this perfectly the same. Dip, swipe, dab. All right, now we're just going to go fatter petals. Now, they can be wonky because when you look at a rose, you'll see those petals are wonky. They're not perfectly shaped. So why would our roses be perfectly shaped? When we're doing them, they shouldn't be. All right, so if it's sticking out weird, one side is lopsided and one side is thicker than the other, totally appropriate. I don't do roses too often because they can be so frustrating. So instead of thinking about them as being frustrating, just think about them as being different and a challenge. not scary. Just different. All right, so I've got that kind of circular-ish shape here. It's pretty round. That may not be as accurate as some roses, but it's okay. It is art and we're just playing. Now I'm gonna take a more concentrated color. So this one is alizarin crimson. It's pretty dark. Adding it to my puddle, dabbing the brush. And now I'm simply going to go on the like kind of that inside right here where a petal has started right here. The edge there, and I'm just going to touch down because I want to add in a little bit of shadowiness. It's going to spread, it's going to darken it up, and that's what I want. All right, so just going to go around, maybe a little bit darker, a little bit bolder, but not too much, not too much. So how do you know when it's too much? I don't know. I think your brain will tell you. So I'm going to clean my brush now, dab it on my paper towel, and then I'm just going to choose to kind of blend out some of these lines if I feel like, dab it, if I feel like it's too much. A little boldiness. Going to go around. I'm just trying to fluff this up. There's a petal there, so I'm going to take my clean damp brush and just remove some of that. So my whole thing is we're just going around, adding in these little lines, just being playful, being bold. That's a big thing. I want you to be bold and playful and have fun. So we've got this center down. We've got some bold marks. We're going to start with the next one here. I think that a little bit of a peachy color would be fun. Whatever's on your palette. So I've got yellow, orange, some pink in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and start to add in some more of those little C-curve shapes. Okay, see how I'm just going really fast with this brush. So this method is just kind of using that point of the brush with quick motions, sweeping motions to create our rose. You can press down more if you want. This one is a little bit less structured. I'm going very fast, but I'm also getting thicker, somewhat thicker as I go out. And if it's getting to be too perfect, you can allow things to kind of go outside the lines. Kind of looks like a ranunculus too. But just playing with that kind of really multi-petaled rosy shape. And then grabbing some more concentrated paint, dabbing your brush, and going in with those still quick movements. I need a darker one. Just kind of going in, around quickly, pressing down a little bit more, wet on wet, letting it spread and do its thing. And just kind of leave it like that. So the last one is I'm going to use a dagger brush. You may not have one, but if you do, you can break it out right now. It's just fun to use and kind of see the marks that you can create. So there's some purple on here. There's some pink. I'm just gonna grabbing a mixture of that with this color over here, just a little bit different. And so with this angled brush, just kind of going around, creating some angular shapes. You're gonna get more of a geometric shape with this rose, which I really love. So quick brush movements, okay? If we get really bogged down with the specifics of it, it might be frustrating for us. So I've got a lot of white space I'm leaving with this rose. You can see I'm working quite quickly just to put these marks down. And as you're doing this and you're getting these different techniques, you're gonna start seeing, keep dripping there, some differences arising in the type of brush you use, in the brush movements that you use. Gonna grab a little more dark color, dab your brush, and you can add in, if it's not dark enough, darken it up. Add in some shadow while it's still wet. So you're gonna start to see, which style do you prefer? And the dagger brush has always been like pretty attractive to me. I love it for a rose. I I feel like there's a lot less control because it has these different lengths of bristles. And to me, that's just kind of a fun way to paint. So now we're going to add in some of our greenery. Our greenery, will put it all together. So grab whatever greens are on your palette. I like to just kind of poke in a little bit with the paint and then swirl my brush. Now for this quill, you know, I love to use the belly of the brush, so kind of pressing down, going up a little bit as we go higher up, creating a kind of a fern look, filling that in. That's one way to do your beautiful leaves. Over here, you might want to do those C-curve shapes, so you press down, kind of curve it out. Another little stem, press down, curve. And we're just trying to fill in this space. With our greens, you can grab a different color, a different shade of green, and connect everything with a stem like that. So that's really a fun way to do your foliage. Little stem in the middle, and then just tiny little marks to connect every leaf to the main stem. And look how pretty that turns out. So we can do some greenery in the middle too. We can grab a different shade of green. You can use the side of this quill brush to kind of go from the outside in to create some very simple greenery right there. And then I also like to have some greenery in the middle. So just for this, the sake of this, kind of just quickly putting in some marks. So you can paint those marks over each other too. You don't have to be all perfect with it. We're grabbing some blue now. Some more of those C-curve shapes. So pressing down. Roses can be so challenging, but it's called practice, like anything else. Little stem here. And, you know, some people just don't paint roses because they're too frustrated by them. And that's one way to handle it. Or you can just keep practicing over and over and find the style that you love, right? So pressing, pressing, and pressing. So if you have any thoughts about roses and what you love to do to paint roses, or how they come out the best for you, let me know in the comments. And make sure to like the video so that we know you're enjoying this process. And you can always send me your questions or your photos on Instagram too. So I've got some greenery going on here. I think I'm going to put in a little extra, just pressing, pressing, and pressing. I really love going from the outside in and just kind of creating these quick marks. They're pretty easy to do, and they don't take a lot of effort. So now when we go back to our roses here, is there anything that you want to change? I like to add in a few more bold details, which just make things come to life. I'm also going to do some splatter because that's what I do. So really runny paint, just tap my brush in several places to create that beautiful splatter effect. And I do like to use my smaller brush when I'm doing this whole thing. I am going to actually grab some brown at this point, dab my brush just to counteract the red. Let's do a little bit more. Dab there. And then just some quick little motions to darken up some of this. So when we're doing our roses, our flowers, our landscapes, it's so important to have high contrast. You can see I'm just swooping really fast and kind of leaving it like that. So if you've got that light, the mid-tone, and then that dark color, you're getting that beautiful high contrast that you're probably looking for. And it's going to make your flower have more depth. So a little bit of orange in the yellow, and then just some tinier marks for shadows and texture, especially around the center. Pressing down a little bit more at the belly of the brush as you go out to create a little bit more width of that texture. And just really simple. You don't have to do a lot. If you don't like some of the marks that you have, You can just go in with a clean, damp brush and just really, blend those out. Make sure you blend those and soften those lines so they're not so harsh and bold. And for this last one, we will use the angled brush, the dagger brush, to put in some marks here. And I'm just going to grab some pink. You can grab some pink, whatever. And same type of thing. Oops, a little bit darker. So you can see there's a lot of layering that happens to create our final pieces. A little bit of layering there. As you start to keep painting, you kind of get, not careless, but you get less careful. You get less worried about perfectionism and all that stuff. So I'm going to go in one more time with a clean damp brush here and just blend a little bit of this out because I feel like those lines are a little harsh. But I hope this has been helpful for you. Another way to paint roses. If you want to do one more bold thing, a little more brown to fill in some of the spaces here of the center of your rose. That one is already pretty dark. And then this one too, if you want to add a little bit of contrast, as we do. All right, guys, that's it for today's painting. So are you feeling confident about your roses? I really hope that you are. I really love painting them, and sometimes I hate painting them, but I still keep going back to them because they are a love in my life. So it's sort of a challenge that needs to be conquered that I enjoy conquering, and sometimes feel frustrated, but that's okay. We're learning something new. I hope that that was something that brought you some relaxation and maybe some new knowledge. So I do have a class this Monday, so click the link below so you can sign up. It is totally free. We're using watercolor and mixed media, combining them together to create something really beautiful and fun. And we're gonna be doing pairs, just saying. It's gonna be a whole bunch of fun stuff. And also wanna remind you that I have my art retreat that's linked below, so you can click there if you'd like to sign up for that. I wish you happy painting and happy mental health. And if you don't know what to watch next, you can watch this video on roses that's a couple months old. And I hope to see you soon in the next tutorial. Bye, guys.